Hello, I am the Patriot. Today I shall be talking about the Third Amendment to the Constitution. No soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. I shall be breaking this down into individual phrases, which I will translate into modern English in order to show you the full meaning of this amendment. Small disclaimer, this amendment is partially defined but not limited to as I define it in this video. First, let me provide the context for this amendment so that we can understand it easier. Back in the 18th century, the British were forcing people to house British soldiers in their home, feed them, and get them drunk. But you don't know the worst part. Do you know what a fully kitted out redcoat smells like after a day of work and no bath for a month? Bleh! So in order to keep this from happening again after they won in 1783, they created this amendment. Moving on. The first phrase, no soldier shall. In this case, soldier meant anyone in the army, navy, or militia. However, as the police force didn't exist back then, I believe the founding fathers would have meant for them to be included in the description of the soldier too. So a basic definition of this would be, no person paid by any government shall. The second phrase, in time of peace be quartered in any house. Quartered basically means stationed, so this means in a time of peace be stationed at any house. The third phrase, without the consent of the owner. Consent means permission, so this means without the permission of the owner. The fourth phrase, nor in time of war, means and not during a war either. I have no idea why they put that in that specific place. Maybe they forgot before and didn't want to redo the whole amendment. After all, paper was expensive. The fifth phrase, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. Manner basically means the way they do things, and the word prescribed means determined. So this phrase means, but even then, the way they do things will be determined by regulations. When you put this amendment together, it means, no person paid by any government shall, in a time of peace, be stationed in any house, without the permission of the owner, and not during a war either, but even with the owner's permission, the way the persons paid by the government do things will be determined by regulations. Despite what this says, today it is illegal for anyone in the police force and army, etc., to use your house for their proper purposes, even with your permission. This works for me. If we made regulations and allowed them to come into our homes, the government would somehow mess it up and give themselves more power. If it isn't obvious, I'm talking about the national government, which shouldn't even be involved in this matter. The only governments that should set up regulations are the state governments, because they're less likely to mess it up. And that's all I have to say. Thanks again for stalking, and thanks for watching. I'll see you later.